Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is July the 24th, 2018. What do I usually say? Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Deferral of gratification, unconfiscatable. Okay, guys, hoard that Bitcoin. Check out the links below. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's jump into an Aaron Von Weirdum tweet. All the economists explaining why Bitcoin can't work while Bitcoin is working. Yeah, that is kind of funny. They're all these economists. They're explaining why it can't work, but it's already working. All right, remember, people, if it's working for you, try to get that one Bitcoin first. That's why we call this the One Bitcoin Show. That's your first goal. And from there, the sky is the limit. 2, 3, 10, 100, 300, 420, whatever your goals are, you can reach them. You can do it, but it has to start somewhere. You start with one Bitcoin. Check out the links below to see my other videos where I talk about this stuff. DisruptMeister.com. Get a Trezor Ledger Nano. Get t-shirts like this linked to below in the notes section. Please do check that out. There's very informative information. Everything I talk about in this video, including that tweet that I just talked about, is linked to below. All right. Somebody in the super chat just sent something. I'll check that out. Why don't I check that out right now? James Del Garcio, hold the bull by the balls, he said. And he sent $1.99. Thank you for that super chat. And you know what? Yeah, when the price is going up in terms of fiat, it is hard to hold for some people. You got to have a strong hand when it's going up, just like when it's going down, because people, you're tempted to sell when you see those dollar signs going up. But dudes, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Just think of it that way. That avoids temptation. Okay. So when it comes to cryptocurrencies, innovation around monetary policy is usually just another lens for debasement. That thought-provoking tweet was from Arjun. I butchered it, but he's linked to below. Arjun is his name. But we'll read it again because a siren is going by here in Edmonton. And yes, I am in Edmonton. They don't have that many sirens. It's a pretty peaceful place. It's like Austin, but in Canada. Pound that like button for Austin in Canada. Okay, but again, all these, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, innovation around monetary policy is usually just another lens for debasement. Yeah, so keep it simple with Bitcoin, people. It's the original. All these other ones are going to try to tinker with their monetary policies. They're just further debasing themselves. Yeah, why don't we have 84 million instead of 21 million? Yeah, we need to print more. Debasement. Okay. Now, I want to talk about something that is going to be for now known. It's going to be known for now on as the Hoffman line, the Andy Hoffman $100 billion line. And Andy has been talking about this for quite some time. In fact, back in the day when the total market capitalization of Bitcoin first crossed over $100 billion, this is last year. He was talking about how now it was a legitimate asset class in the eyes of the big money Wall Street, traditional bank, traditional finance type of people that he was very familiar with from all his years working on Wall Street. Now, Andy talks about this all the time. He says he's 47 years old, so he's been around longer than a lot of the 21-year-olds out there that are trying to give knowledge, right? But he worked in all sorts of things in Wall Street with oil, with this, with that, and the other. And some of you might just let that pass by your head. But you might remember what I was talking about yesterday, experience and knowledge. Knowledge being passed down from one generation to another generation. So you can say Andy's of a different generation than the 21-year-olds. I think that's a legitimate thing to say. But and so the knowledge he was preaching there is something that I don't think about that. Like the $100 billion market cap makes it kosher for all these big institutions. It just passed through my head too when that first happened. But on the other side of things, when it was when Bitcoin was worth, again, we value our wealth in Bitcoin, but it had gone up to $20,000 and then it went all the way back down to $6,000 or whatever. And Andy was there yet again talking about that $100 billion line, the Hoffman line, and how that the institutions weren't going to let it fall beyond that. And I mentioned this on my show recently when I spoke with Andy, but I think with someone else also, that the market cap of Bitcoin has not fallen below that. And again, I don't care about the fiat value that much. Andy does. Andy looks at it. A lot of people look at it, okay? Everyone's got different takes on it. He's got a different presentation style. He's got the New York in your face, type of style. I'm not from New York. I don't have the Wall Street background, but again, we learn, different styles, different information, generational information being passed down. You gotta pay attention to some different types of voices sometimes. So now I'm thinking about this, and it does make sense that, when it crossed over 100 billion, if this is some magical number for traditional financiers out there, that they knew at that point, this Bitcoin thing is a legitimate asset class. It's done. It's a legitimate asset class. So for me, big institutional dude that I am, I'm going to, as long as I'm going to keep on buying because it's already proven itself to me. And I know yesterday I was talking about people's different perspectives on time. So the minute that it crossed over 100 billion for the first time in market cap, to them, to some of these big people out there, it was over. It was over for them. They knew that one day it's going to be worth $100,000. They knew that it had proven itself then, and so since they had that number in mind, whenever it gets that cheap again, whenever the value of Bitcoin's market cap is $100 billion, they just start buying it up again. It's not just one of them. It's a mindset. And that is the support level that we've seen. Now, this could all be completely proven wrong. It could crash below. It could do it. But it appears that he's on to something. And if you think about the reasons why, and if you think about the time perspective, what the heck? These are like billion dollar institutions and people. What the heck do they care if it was 20,000 one day and the next day it's 8,000 when they know that it's already proven to them that one day it's going to be 100,000? They're long-term thinkers. They've got strong hands beyond anything that you can imagine. That's why they're billionaires. That's why they live in Greenwich, and people try to say that they're the devil and stuff because they're rich and successful and live in Greenwich or wherever they live. When in fact, people should be trying to emulate them and study what they're doing. So Hoffman knows their mindset. And again, I think I linked to a Steemit post of his below where he again discusses it. Let me see. Did I quote anything of his? $100 billion market cap level. As I have discussed endlessly over the past 5.5 months. That's a line of his. Okay. Let me see what else. Yeah, I think I explained that pretty well there. And yeah, it's a psychological game of sorts. It's not a game. It appears that there are institutions and people out there that psychologically, the minute it became a legitimate, all they needed to see was it was Bitcoin to have $100 billion market cap. It was a legitimate asset class at that point. And at that point, when they were just going to start buying, and if it ever gets that cheap again, they're going to keep on buying. And it's just a way for them to accumulate more if it is that cheap again, because they know one day it'll be worth much. And they've got the strongest hands in the world. they'll be hanging on until 2024. Who knows? All right. Bcash Civil War. Yeah, I've heard about this. I linked to an Ansel Lindner post below. This could be an attempt to pump Bcash. You get the split coins. And since SHA-256 and 21 million isn't in Satoshi's original vision, Craig, fake Satoshi's fork, could use a different algo and toy with the reward. Okay. So basically, Craig Wright, the one known as fake Satoshi, he is disagreeing with, I guess, somebody over at Bcash. I don't think it's not King of the Trolls. It's Rocket Man Woo, I guess. And there might be a fork of Bcash. And it might, I mean, let's take the emotion out of this, people. Let's take the emotion and feelings out of this. Bcash is the #4 cryptocurrency on the planet. It'll be the #3 one soon because Ripple, come on, dudes. Come on now. But anyway, if the #4 cryptocurrency has a legitimate split, kind of like even, especially if it's like a 50-50, if like Craig can gather up a bunch of people on his side and Rocket Man can and King of the Trolls can gather up half the people on their side, and no one knows what's the real Bcash. And maybe some of the Bitcoin people who troll Bcash, which I think is a waste of time, they'll pretend that they support one and the others will pretend to support the other, and it'll be all drama. But that will actually, and then it will split. Well, I think that the crypto dividend will be worth just as much as the original. I mean, we could be talking a 10% of a, again, 0.1 Bitcoin value of one, 0.1 Bitcoin value of another. Right now, it's above 0.1. It's 10% of a Bitcoin, one Bcash is worth. And for you, those of you who say, well, it can't add up to more than it was worth pre-split. Oh, yes, it can. Just like Bitcoin was worth more. Bitcoin plus Bcash was worth more than Bitcoin was pre-split. We're talking about a scenario playing out like that again. And actually, over the last few days, the Bcash value has gone up in terms of fiat as these rumors have circulated. And it's sort of gone up in terms of Bitcoin because we value our wealth in Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has gone up so much in fiat that it can't stay at that same pace currently. But what I'm trying to say is this. This is if they actually split, and you're a holder of Bcash, you're gonna be in good shape, man. I think it's good. So go ahead, Bcash, get your crypto dividend, split it on up, have a fork. I'm cheering you on. You know, you're having your little civil war. You know, obviously there's a fake Satoshi. I don't really like when a guy kind of pretends that he's kind of Satoshi and makes all these implications, and then a couple people believe him. And more than a couple people, apparently. Pound that freaking like button. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think it's something to keep an eye on. And again, they're going to have that stress test for Bcash in September the 1st also. So again, take the emotion out of it, people. You might not like it that the thing's going to pump. But it is a big story that if it actually does split. And again, if the rumor, if it really looks like it's going to split, people are going to start buying it in order to get the crypto dividend. Just like they bought Bitcoin when they thought there was going to be a 2x split. When the BGold split, also people started buying up Bitcoin then also. So this is the same type of thing. People are going to buy up Bcash to get this Craig Cash or whatever they're going to call it. Okay, keep an eye. I've talked too much about Bcash tonight. So here's another tweet from, this is from a lawyerly dude named Jay Chervinsky. Jay Chervinsky. Sounds like some ancient relative of mine or something like that. Anyway, yeah, because there was actually in my background, my great-great-grandmother's maiden name is Berezanski or something like that. I mean, it was something insane that doesn't even exist anymore. It was so inskied out. Okay, so little personal info there. The SEC can and probably will delay its decision on the Van X Solid X commodity-backed Bitcoin ETF until February 21st, 2019. Thread. Okay, this dude who's a lawyer has a thread that explains why the SEC more than likely will delay this this decision that everyone thinks is going to come on August the 10th. Again, to me, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen eventually, but you guys got to prepare yourself with a really strong hand for this, super duper strong hand for this one, because a lot of people will freak out. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be August the 10th, and now it's February. Now it'll be delayed to like December, then February. Get used to this. We've been through this before. There've been delays in the past, and then it wasn't approved. When you're dealing with bureaucracies, they're all about delays and telling you one date, cost overruns. You know, that's why we're in the Bitcoin overlay. We're not about overruns and lies and making it up as you go along and accepting bribes and, you know, seeing which way the wind is blowing to make your decision and when to make it. Be prepared, people. So yeah, the Bitcoin price could, in terms of fiat, go down when people start realizing this might happen. Hey, and maybe it won't happen at all, and the decision will come August 10th, and it'll be yes, and hallelujah. But again, for me, I am on a different time perspective. In my head, it's already happened. Doesn't matter. I am holding that Bitcoin with the strongest of freaking hands, baby. And 2020 halving, that's the number I think about. I don't care about February 21st, 2019. I'm thinking about whatever, May of 2020, whenever the darn halving is. Because, you know, that's why you value your wealth in Bitcoin. You know that in the future, this thing's tremendous. You know, one decision here, we're going to look back on this, and if it gets delayed, we're going to laugh, because there are going to be a lot of other ETFs eventually too. And yeah, there are so many people out there that will not touch Bitcoin until they can buy it in ETF form. I don't know. You know what? That's their prerogative. I think that's silly. And I think that makes all of you who are watching this show elite, because you can buy it before they buy it, because you know how to store it on your Trezor. You know that controlling your private key is really owning it. And you can act on that now, while all these other people who are used to buying traditional ETFs, they're not going to touch Bitcoin until it's in their little format where someone else will hold it and manage it for them, and, you know, whatever. You guys are elite. You are elite, or you can be elite. Don't complain if you didn't make the move now and you have to wait until you're buying it like your grandmother is with an ETF. You could be like your grandmother, or you can be like the Meister. You can take personal responsibility, or you can just wait around and complain one day. All right. So Whale Panda has something that deals with the ETFs. When the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, I can't wait for but if Bitcoin ETF is approved, then altcoin X will definitely be next pumps. Not XRP, obviously. Ooh, nice little shot there, dude. Yeah, that's very interesting. Once it is approved, then there will be all sorts of rumors. The Litecoin one is next, and then the price of Litecoin will pump up. And again, all of this is cyclical. All of these altcoins, Bcash, Litecoin, Ethereum, they all pump, they all dump, they all come back. In the long run, there's only one rock, there's only one Bitcoin, there's only one next Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. But hey, that's something to keep your mind on. And again, the ETFs are only going to deal with the top tier ones too. So this will be something, you know, we've talked about what makes a top tier altcoin a top tier altcoin. Well, the ones that get included in ETFs will definitely be top tier altcoins. I mean, I cannot, maybe I can't see fifth tier altcoins being part of ETFs, okay? or either third tier or second. I mean, come on, there's only a certain level of risk these people can take. I mean, when some of these are so centralized and can be just turned off. And anyway, let's talk about people being in motion and people being missing. No, Daniel, $21 million club, he was not missing. He's fine, everyone. People have asked me about him. He is in motion. He is starting a new channel. He sent me something. He said, I was watching the World Cup 2 weeks. So he's fine. Here. I was watching the World Cup 2 weeks ago, and I heard one of the Mexican sports commentators mention that soon the players will be getting paid in millions of Bitcoin instead of euros or dollars. Even if he did mention it as a joke, People in Mexico watching that channel's World Cup transmission certainly heard the word Bitcoin in a positive manner. Thank you, Daniel, for telling me that. It put a big smile on my face. It also put a smile on my face because there were people in the chat the other day that thought you were like dead or something. Like, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine, guys. And maybe I'll get him on the show this week or next week or something like that. I know everybody loves 21 million down in Mexico. Use his consultancy. Again, he's rebranding now, so I'll link to some stuff at his tomorrow show or something like that if he wants me to. All right, speaking of another guy in motion on Steemit, Benny, BTC Benny, made this great video compilation of the Calgary Bitcoin Rodeo. I'm in it, Vortex is in it, all sorts of dudes are in it, okay, that were at the Bitcoin Rodeo. Very well done. He put it on Steemit first before he put it on, I guess he put it on DTube or whatever it is. So yeah, he's in motion and it's a good video. I had a fun time participating in the event, speaking there, hanging out with the guys. So you'll get a kind of behind the scenes feel. It's linked to below. All right, and finally another dude in motion here. And again, guys, if you get an event, send it to me. I'll promote it. I don't have to come to the event. I like when you guys are in motion. I love people spreading the word. I'll be in Philadelphia with Ken Bozak on August 18th, cryptocoin.com. Link to below. $45 ticket price discount is below. Also, what is it going to be? I'm speaking in Boise on the 8th of August and in Hollywood on the 11th. If all goes well, we're still working on all that stuff, getting links for that stuff. But the link for Philadelphia is below. But here we go. Before you pound that like button one last time, here's an interesting perspective on time in Bitcoin from Bitcoin Budgie, who tweeted this out, and I retweeted it. Follow me at TechBalt, by the way, on Twitter, TECHBALT. If you love this stuff in the middle of the day, TECHBALT. It's always blowing up. Steemit, I'm Bitcoin Meister. Anyway, Bitcoin Budgie says, it's never too late to buy Bitcoin. Success in this market is determined not by how early you got in, but how long you hodled. Now, I don't like saying the word hodled. Held is the correct word, but I had to say it for him. I don't like hodl. I like hold. But no, he's absolutely right. You could have got in 2010 and then you sold it. You thought you made a big, you valued your wealth in dollars. And ouch, that hurt when you sold in 2012, when you bought in 2010 or whatever. Just the longer you hold it, dudes, you're valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. Try to get more and more Bitcoin. Hey, you can end up with more Bitcoin than some guy from 2010 because he sold it all or he kept one. You can end up with more. Think of it that way. There's always a positive spin on life, dudes, but you have to be proactive. You have to be in motion. You can't just sit there and complain and and call names and, make huge claims about yourself and make all these accusations. Do something. Don't be a blamer. Don't be a scapegoater. Do something. Be in motion. Hey, dudes, I love it. Travel all around the world, baby. I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. I will say hi to you dudes in the super chat. See ya.